titled The Path to Bright Days. In the heart of Big City lived a guy named Tony, who was known for having a big smile and even bigger dreams. But Tony had a secret. A long time ago, he used to make bad choices, ones that led him down a dangerous road. Now, he had left all that behind, and he was trying his best to stay on the right path. Every day, Tony worked at Mr. Green's fruit stand, stacking apples and greeting customers with a cheerful "Good morning!" But even though Tony tried his best to live an honest life, there were days when trouble seemed to follow him like a shadow. No matter how hard he worked, whispers from his past always crept in, tempting him to return to his old ways. One afternoon, as Tony was arranging baskets of oranges, an old friend named Darnell walked by. "Hey, Tony," Darnell called out, grinning. "Haven't seen you in a while. Still playing nice, huh? Man, you're wasting time here. We could be living large again, like the old days." Tony's heart skipped a beat. He knew what Darnell meant. The old days were filled with quick money and bad choices. He looked down at the oranges and took a deep breath. "Thanks, but I'm good here," Tony said firmly. "I've got different plans now." Darnell chuckled. "Different plans? Man, Big City's tough. You think working here will get you anywhere? When you're ready to make real money, you know where to find me." Tony stayed silent, but his thoughts whirled like the busy streets of Big City. Was he really on the right path? Sometimes it felt like he was stuck, going nowhere fast. Later that night, Tony was walking home when he heard footsteps behind him. He turned and saw a man in a dark hoodie following him closely. His heart pounded. Could it be someone from his past, trying to drag him back into trouble? Tony quickened his pace, but the man caught up. Before Tony could react, the man grabbed his arm. "Tony," the man said, breathless. Tony blinked, recognizing him. It was Officer Samuels, a kind-hearted cop who had once helped him get out of a tough spot. "Officer Samuels, what's going on?" Tony asked, confused. "I've been watching you, Tony," Samuels said, still holding onto his arm. "You've been doing good, staying clean, but I know it's hard. The past is a heavy weight, and I wanted to check in on you." Tony was relieved, but also a little frustrated. "I'm trying, but it feels like no matter what I do, the past just keeps coming back. People like Darnell make it seem like there's no way out." Samuels looked at him seriously. "Tony, listen. The path you're on, it's not always the easiest one, but it's the one that leads somewhere better. Those shadows from your past, they'll fade in time, but you've got to keep walking. Don't let anyone pull you back." The next day, as Tony stood by Mr. Green's fruit stand, his mind was clear. He smiled as the city bustled around him, filled with noise and life. "Better days are coming," Tony whispered to himself, stacking the apples with care. "I just have to keep walking." And so, Tony chose to keep believing that his better days in the big city would come, even if it took time. Because sometimes the hardest roads lead to the brightest places. And Tony, despite the shadows of his past, was determined to find the light. Sometimes the world will test you and your past will try to catch up. But if you keep walking the right path, the sun will shine brighter on the other side. Keep believing in better days.